Hey everybody, Dual666 here, back for our December 7th horror movie update. Got lots of cool stuff to talk about as usual, but you guys know how I like to usually start this out. And over here we have Frankenstein vs. Hitler from 2011. It's a spoof of 20s silent horror, so I hope you guys enjoy it. It should run the length of the entire update, so cheers, got some tea here. And for all you stoners, cheers once again. A little bit more tea and we'll get right into it, guys. Okay. First one is from the director of the Blair Witch Project. This came out in 2007. It was really cheesy. I liked it though. It was pretty fun. Definitely that that period of rental store horror, early 2000s sort of stuff like that. It's Solstice. I know it kind of looks like a slasher, but it's really not. It's kind of like a weird possession ghost story sort of. It's a very strange movie. Hard to give it a really proper explanation without giving away the plot. So it'll suffice to say, I suppose, that you should definitely go check it out. I thought it was pretty fun. So there's Solstice. Next up, this one wasn't so great. I knew what I was getting myself in for when I read about, I read the synopsis. So, killer comic book sort of thing. It's Scrawl. It's as cheesy as you can imagine. It was fun, but definitely one of the, things I didn't like so much for this update. But there it is. I think it was $1 at Dollar Tree sometime back. You guys know how that whole thing is. Oh, next up. This one is really vulgar as far as language is concerned, like for no reason at all. It's kind of ridiculous, but the plot setup is cool. The acting isn't totally atrocious the entire time, and I liked it. It was definitely original for this type of movie. Still, in the When a Stranger Calls sort of vein, but this is Don't Hang Up. And this came out in 2016, yeah, just a few years ago. So, you can expect a pretty decent production. It was fairly suspenseful. I like this movie pretty well. It is an R-rated film, so it doesn't really hold back with much of the violence either. So, I wouldn't say it goes out of its way to be the best movie ever, but it's not so bad. You should definitely check out Don't Hang Up. Alright. Here's another one that I thought was just alright. It's definitely a strange low-budget flick, but I liked it still. Devoured. This one came out in 2016 as well. I think this is like a Family Dollar purchase. It was like $2. Random acquisition. I did like it though, so if you guys see this around, you should check it out as well. Not the best. It's pretty cheesy, bad sort of acting the entire time. Pretty ridiculous plot, but still... This is the kind of stuff like that. It's nowadays video store rental sort of shit like that, Bad production quality, but if you're down for a cheesy movie, it's pretty fun. So, Devoured. I've been seeing a lot of these BBCs in the last few months making their way over to the States finally. This is Clay. This wasn't really like totally horror. It was more of a strange drama character study thing. You don't see too much of the monster until the end of the movie, and well, it's not much of a monster really. This is more of just a strange psychological film. I did like it, but it's a little dry for my taste. It tends to be that way, I feel, when it comes from England these days. So it is what it is. I had some fun with it though. I've seen a lot more films coming from BBC releasing, and I'm definitely gonna check them all out. I'm sure that they can't be any more dry than this, so we'll give them all a try. But you should definitely check out Clay. Not bad. Okay, here's one that's pretty damn fun. I don't know why I put off getting it for so long, but here it is. It's finally here. Broken Lizard's Club Dread. This one came out 2003. This is prime time for Broken Lizard. So you know how it is. It's a slasher, spoof, definitely a comedy horror film. This movie is hilarious. It's no Super Troopers or Beer Fest, but it's pretty damn funny, so you should definitely check that out if you haven't. Alright, this next one I wasn't expecting to be so incredibly graphic. There's extremely graphic nudity and very disturbing plot developments in this film. It's Look Away. This came out in 2017, and honestly, it blew my mind. I thought this movie was way better than I expected it to be. Pretty original premise. You know, the ending is really, really shocking and disturbing for sure, but it's not like, it's not the most disturbing film I've ever seen, but definitely a lot better than I would have given it credit for, coming from a dollar store more than likely, so Look Away. Check that one out, guys. This is a really cool film from 1973. I swear I had this at one point, but it just disappeared out of the collection, so here it is again. You guys already may know, if you've seen videos from the past, I love Don't Go in the Basement. This is a cheesy-ass movie from the 70s, like I said. There's not much else to say. I don't want to give away much of the plot. If you haven't seen Don't Go in the Basement and you like cheesy-ass movies, you should definitely give this a watch. Speaking of cheesy movies, years and years ago I acquired Boogeyman, the Boogeyman from 1980, and for some reason it came with the third movie, Return of the Boogeyman. So for years and years I had been searching for Boogeyman 2 from 1983, and I finally found it some months ago at a video rental store that was closing down or something. But, you know, threw it on. It's pretty much like a Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 sort of thing. It's definitely using a lot of the footage from the first film, and it's way worse than the third film. That's pretty much just a complete recut of the first film. So this one's not bad. It has its own new storyline. It's not fantastic or anything, but there's some fun kills and stuff. You know, it's just a cheesy-ass 80s sort of slashery, sort of ghost story weirdness. It's fun though. So, Boogeyman, glad to finally have that whole series. Alright. This one I got at a Redbox some time ago and been putting it off to watch until, you know, December. I wasn't too excited when I saw the trailer. Just didn't think it looked too great, but I finally broke down and got a copy of it. I don't know if you can see, but that's Black Christmas from 2018. Oh my goodness. I don't want to cut this one down too hard. There was definitely a lot of stuff about this movie I liked. Not all the acting was atrocious. The whole plot line, it was definitely not for me. I really did not understand where they were going with the plot, much less how overshadowed the plot was by the political message, social political message, you know, therein. But really, this is just a hijacking of the name Black Christmas, in my opinion. Such a classic film from '74, and I love the 2006 remake. This, I feel, just tramples all over it. It doesn't really do that franchise any sort of justice. There's a few references to the original movie, but it just really didn't sit too well with me, so it is what it is. I'm a completist. There it is. I own it. Black Christmas 2018. You guys go check it out and see for yourselves. Alright, got some Blu-rays here. There's 4 of them. First one is Broil. This was a very interesting, strange flick. I had to watch it a couple times to really understand what was going on. Essentially, it's about a clan of vampires and the political sort of turmoil that's going on, the social hierarchy in the family and all the murder and betrayal and stuff that's going on. But it's such a strange direction, and all the acting is really, really solid, but it's almost like the mood of the movie is like this strange, whimsical sort of atmosphere in juxtaposed completely to the horrible, morbid things that are going on. So, very interesting film. Definitely going to have to watch it a few more times before I can really say whether or not I love it or not, but it was pretty good, pretty brutal, a little dry at times. It definitely could have probably been cut down a little bit. But overall, I had a lot of fun with it. That's Broil. And that one came out, I think, just this year, 2020. Yes, it did, 2020. Alright, this next one came out 2016, I think. Oh, I can't find it. Yes, 2016 it says. So this one's got, I'm not sure who it is. Here it is. Okay, yeah, totally. It's Aaron Eckhart from, I believe, let me see here. All I know is that this movie, the main character in this movie is so incredibly cheesy and machoed out. I don't really understand what's going on with that, but this is Incarnate. This was a pretty strange exorcism sort of movie. Definitely bearing some strong resemblances to, what's it called? Insidious. Just trying to look back at the collection. I know they're back here somewhere. But, bearing strong stylistic, worship of Insidious, but way cheesier. Not so much payoff as in those movies, really. It was just okay. I thought it was kind of lacking, so check it out if you want, but that's Incarnate. Not horrible. Okay. Found this really cheap recently, some while ago. And I'd heard some good stuff about it, but I tried watching it a while back and kind of snoozed it, didn't really care too much. But me and the wife finally, got to watching the entire series, and as it turns out, it was pretty fun. So this is The Haunting of Hill House. It's pretty fun. Definitely doesn't wrap up as strong as I would like it to, but pretty solid, suspenseful show. Decent, reworking of the Hill House storyline. Yeah, it was fairly unique. It was better than I thought it was going to be, but like I said, I don't think it ended very well. But in comparison to how much I've seen of The Haunting of Bly Manor, I definitely think that this one's a little bit better. I definitely wanted to mention that. But we'll see as I finish Haunting of Bly Manor, we'll see if that holds true. But there it is. It's definitely worth checking out. Haunting of Hill House. Okay. Let me see where I am on time. Cool. I'm going to speed it up just a teensy bit. So this is going to be the last Blu-ray. This is Don't Go in the Woods. Came out in 1981. It's a shot-on-video, really, really cheesy-ass slasher movie. It's pretty much like a spoof movie. Honestly, it's just that bad. Reminds me a lot stylistically of Graduation Day or Final Exam. Just the super ridiculous, cheesy-ass slasher from the 80s. If that's not what you're about, I would tread lightly. This is probably not for you if you're not into this specifically, but that's totally my forte. Finally got my hands on it some time ago, so there it is. Don't Go in the Woods. Move my palette real quick. Okay. These next three I've been meaning to watch for some time. I found the third one at a Big Lots a long time ago. And then one of the last times, or probably the last time I was in Las Vegas, I was doing some movie hunting out there with my wife. And I think we were at Zia Records, and we found the first one and the second one. So I recently just finally got done watching all three of these. And first one, I gotta say, was pretty damn good. Extremely violent, original premise, solid effects, and, I really liked it. Second one, more of the same, but not quite as good. Pretty decent still. Third one, still more of the same, but, also just a little bit lower in quality than the second film. So, all in all, this is a pretty fun series. I would definitely consider watching it again pretty soon. So if you haven't checked them out, these are the Mimik films. Mimik 1, 2, and 3. And I think these came out in the mid to late 90s and early 2000s. Not exactly sure on all the years, but you should definitely check out the Mimik films. These were a lot of fun. Been hearing a lot of hype about this one lately, so picked it up pretty cheap recently. Finally gave it a watch, and I gotta say, it was pretty good, in my opinion. One of those films that just kind of wraps up very strangely and confusingly so I don't really know what to think about it as of yet. Definitely going to have to watch it a few more times. But all I can say is I didn't hate it or anything. I thought it was pretty decent. I just didn't exactly know where it was going the whole time, and quite frankly, it's a little bizarre. So it is what it is. I liked it. I'm gonna definitely give it some watches in the future. So that's Hereditary. You guys, I'm sure you all know about that one. All right, this was one that I have been wanting to see for a long time. Also found it really, really cheap. I think at Dollar Tree of all places. I can't believe it. Antichrist by Lars von Trier. I think this is from 2009, so like I said, I've been wanting to see this for a long time. I think I started collecting in 2008 or 2009, so this was definitely on my list back then, and it's taken years and years to finally find a copy, but here it is. You know, after reading so many reviews of it over the years, I guess I didn't think that it was going to have the bite that it ended up having. This movie is very strange, and it's hard to watch, honestly. Very disturbing and very disheartening and heartbreaking, and plenty of violence as well, and absolutely chilling imagery. This is Antichrist, so you should definitely check this movie out. It's pretty excellent. You should definitely check out Antichrist. I've heard a lot of bad about it, but that was definitely my kind of modern horror film. Speaking of modern horror films, I feel like this film from 1970 kind of gives birth to the modern horror film in many respects. It's really similar to a lot of films at this period, so it's not like the film that I feel gave birth, but definitely in that era where classic film sort of evolved to the modern film that we know. The way that things were shot and the style of acting going for a shift at that point. This film definitely conveys late 60s, early 70s transition of film. So this is Dario Argento's The Bird and the Crystal Plumage. Really classic giallo movie before he started getting really atmospheric and steering away from giallo films. This is just a total classic in his catalog. I'm an avid Dario Argento fan, so it's awesome to finally have this. You should definitely all go check it out. Alright. And, yep, is this going to be the last one? Okay, yeah, I saved the classic for last. This one from 1963, I believe. 1963, yep. So, this one is The House of the Damned. I thought this was going to play like a weird psychological haunted house movie, and it kind of did for the most part, until the end when you find out what's really going on. But, you know, clocking in at just over an hour, this has great pacing, awesome acting for the time, pretty decent, you know, haunted house setup, like I said, and what's really going on at the end is also pretty awesome, so you should definitely take a look, find out where you can find a copy of House of the Damned, because this is a classic horror film from the 60s. You should definitely check it out. I enjoyed it immensely. This is a really beat up copy that I found at the swap meet. I'm sure a better pressing exists, so get out there, get on the hunt, guys, and that's pretty much it. That's the end of the update. As you can see, it's Christmas time around here. We got some presents. Well, all these presents are from my wife to me, but you know how Christmas is. I can't open them quite yet, but I might be able to get to one of them early. We'll see when that is. You guys are going to have to keep checking in with my videos to see what it is. And then after Christmas, we'll do an unwrapping video for all these presents. You see what we got. I'm sure you'll want to see what they are, because my wife knows my taste very well. So I hope you've enjoyed our feature film here, Frankenstein versus Hitler, as I meander over all my new purchases, and that's gonna about do it, guys. I'll see you guys with something else really soon, but thanks for watching. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.